What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy, Some. Hit the keys. And in today's video, I want to talk about the 8 biggest mistakes I made starting my YouTube channel. If you guys hear any rumbling out there, it's definitely storming out here, so it is thunder. It's not the bubble guts. Make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. But with no further delay, let's get right into these mistakes, baby. Some, hit the key. All right, guys, so if you follow this channel for a while, you guys know that I always say that you should do some kind of content on some sort of social media platform along with just doing music. So that's why I kind of decided to make this video so that I could tell you guys my 8 biggest mistakes that I made while I started this YouTube channel. So if you wanted to start a YouTube channel, you wouldn't make the same mistakes that I did. So the first mistake that I made was not branching out and trying different kinds of content within the music niche. And I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So as we look here, this is my YouTube channel when I first started. This was my first tutorial well over 3 years ago. This is like January, I think 9th or something like that of 2000. And as we look here, my first videos were all basically tutorials. So it was how to make a fire trap beat from scratch, how to make a beat that slaps, how to make a beat that you can vibe to, how to spice up your hi-hats, how to make a beat for the baby, how to properly mix your beat. So all this stuff was basically tutorials. And I didn't want to just do tutorials, but I was kind of scared to do different things because I had done a couple of videos and I was worried about the people who are watching my channel. Maybe they only want to see tutorials. But when you're first starting, you don't really know what people want to see. You know what I'm saying? So, just to pigeonhole yourself into one category hurts. And I'll explain to you guys and show you guys why. So as you see here, I'll say this first video was an anomaly. It got almost 2,000 views, but it was the first video I put out. I tagged a bunch of people. I shared it a bunch of different places and people watched the content. It didn't get the engagement that I thought it was going to get, but that was the first video. And then from there, it was 249, 180, 428, 190, 134, 148. And then I finally did a review of something. So I had this Alcatron, you know what I'm saying, that mic cover that basically helps get rid of reverb in the room and all that stuff. So I did a review on this. And obviously the review didn't do the greatest right away because it's a searchable piece of content, meaning that people are going to keep looking for this in the future. People aren't going to necessarily always be looking for how to make a fire trap beat. Or if I put out a how to make a fire trap beat video, how many videos are already out there? How many other content creators have huge followings that already have content titles like this? So this piece of content is going to be buried in the algorithm. So basically, I didn't know that I should, like they said in that old Dave Chappelle skit with Wu-Tang, you got to diversify your bonds. So I should have diversified my content. So this should have been a telltale sign. But instead, I went right back to the well and I went back to making videos about creating different stuff. So how I made a fire beat out of trash. So I got a bunch of stuff out of the trash and made a beat with it. Or I made a fire piano and guitar melody or something like that. So then I stepped outside the box again and I made a DIY acoustic panels. So as we see now to date, this video has 96,000 views. But I should have took advantage of that and did more stuff like this, whether it's showing how I'm getting good sounds or other stuff than just production tutorials. But I still stuck with just, I'm gonna do production tutorials. So as we see here, I made another beat, like a Drake type beat. I made the sickest beat while quarantine, making a fire beat in 10 minutes. And then I made another review. So I did initially when I started want to do reviews, but I didn't know how to get into reviews because I didn't want to buy a bunch of stuff to review. I didn't have any connections. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I would just only review things that I came across. And so then this is about 6 months into the channel, 7 months into the channel, right? And so after I'm 6 or 7 months into the channel, then I've eventually started doing reviews. So now I'm getting 5.9 thousand views. You know what I'm saying? I did a review here for Tape Cassette, got 4,000 reviews. And I just kept doing reviews and kept doing reviews and kept doing reviews. And so then I mixed up the reviews and other things that I was doing. This Quiet Piano got 5,000 views. And then it was at this point right here when I did the K1V review for Kawhi, and I got 10,000 views on this. And then I started doing more reviews. This To Be Clipped, I got 3.2. This Cassette Rhodes, I got 10K. So when I did this Kawhi review, this was the first time I had ever put out a review in like 24 hours that had like 3,000, 4,000 views. And for me at the time, that was incredible. That was crazy. And so then at that point is when I still kind of did tutorials, but then I realized maybe you should start doing some reviews and different topics because that's going to help your channel grow. And so I don't want to see you guys wait a bunch of different months before you try different things, especially if you're in this music content. You can do so many different things like how you write a song, or how you get chords, or how you make a melody, or how you use your drums, or how you do sound design, or how all these other things are stuff that you should try and throw out there because you never know what the audience is going to want to see from you. Only the audience knows that. The second mistake that I made was just not being consistent and putting out enough content. So basically, my goal when I first started was to put out 1 to 2 videos a week for maybe the first couple of weeks, and then to start putting out 2 pieces of content a week. So as we look here, this is basically my first 6.5 months of content. So you can see here, I put out maybe about 20 pieces of content in my first 6 months, which isn't enough. You know what I'm saying? That's not even a piece of content a week because I needed 26 pieces of content in order to hit the goals of putting out at least a video or 2 a week. So what basically happened was I was putting out 1 piece of content and it was kind of hurting me that I wasn't getting the results that I want. You know what I'm saying? My pride was taking a piece of that, not understanding that you have to put out more content and you have to be consistent so your viewers know when you're going to put out content, and so that people, will take you seriously. Because if you just put out 1 piece of content, people aren't going to subscribe to your channel. They're not going to be all the way following you. They're not going to subscribe to you. They're not going to do all that stuff because they want to make sure that you're going to be consistent. Nobody wants to invest their time in somebody who's not putting out videos consistently. And so basically over time, what happened for me was I got to that point, like I was telling you guys, where I got to the reviews where I was like, I'm going to take this seriously. So at about June, in the first month, I had like 79 subscribers and I didn't have the watch time or nothing to monetize. So I told myself after that Kawhi review that I was going to take this serious and I was going to put out at least 2 to 3 pieces of content minimum each and every week. I wasn't going to steer away from that and I was going to get it done. And so then I started doing that. And so in July, I got 150 subscribers. So now I'm up to 229. So I doubled my subscribers in 1 month. And then the next month I had like 250 subscribers. And so in the next 3 months, I ended up monetizing because I consistently put out content and I started doing different kinds of things in order to see what people wanted to see from my channel. And I can't stress enough, that is one of the big keys. When you first start, get your foot wet. Don't say that you're gonna do 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 videos a week. Just do the one. But then after that, start slowly increasing the amount of videos you do, become consistent, and you'll definitely see different results than just putting out 1 piece of content a week. The third biggest mistake that I made was judging my content and my results off of other YouTubers out there and not understanding the algorithm. So one of the hardest things is when you first start in YouTube and you see all these other YouTubers out here and they're getting huge video results, they're getting huge view results. So they're getting 100,000 views, 50,000 views, 10,000 views, and you're getting 100. And you're like, how come this person's got, 50,000 views on their video and I've put out, 10 videos and my highest video has 1,000 views or 500 views or whatever the case is? Well, you have to understand the algorithm and you have to understand that it's not a race. You're not racing against other YouTubers out here. You don't understand that sometimes some of these other YouTubers, they've been doing this for 5, 6 years and it took them 4 or 5 years to get to the point to where you're at. So they started just like you. They were feeling, oh, I need more views, or feeling like their content might have been better than it really is. Well, I would take this time to just compare your content to their content. So not in the form of views, but in the form of, are you portraying a clear message? Are you giving the viewer something? What are you doing differently than this YouTuber right here? YouTube is a copycat business. So you can take things from this creator, you can take things from this creator, you can take things from this creator, put them all together and make them your own. And stuff like that's going to help you get your content better and stop you from focusing on how many numbers somebody else has and then just focus on what you're doing and the results that you can bring. And then things to understand, you have to start understanding the algorithm. So the more content that you put out, the more likely YouTube is to put your content on the recommended page, because that's where you want to get your content at. You're not going to get most of your views off of your subscribers, but you are, if that makes sense. So your notification bell isn't going to be where most of the subscribers see your content at. It's basically going to be off the suggested page or off of recommended content. And that's something that a lot of YouTubers don't realize when they first start. Where do you click your content from? From the suggested, videos and stuff like that. Most of the time, you're not watching a video from the notification bell. So the notification bell does help to let the YouTube algorithm know that they should put your video in suggested videos or stuff like that. But you have to realize it's the more content that you put out, the more people that do eventually start watching your content, that's going to put you on the front page, and that's what's going to put you in the suggested videos. The fourth biggest mistake that I made was thinking that gear matters, and it doesn't. You can get by on doing YouTube with just the basic amount of gear that you have. So when I started this channel, yes, I had a microphone. Sound is probably the most important thing with YouTube, because you can watch a blurry video if you can see what you need. But if it doesn't sound good, it's hard to listen to a video that's scratchy or has a bunch of background noise or has a bunch of stuff going on because it's just hard on the ears. So I'll show you what I mean by that. So some of my top videos right here, as you can see, I didn't always have a camera. So when I first started, I was just using the computer on a laptop, and the laptop was like 7 years old. So the picture quality of the video was awful. And then when I got my first camera, I didn't even know how to put the camera in focus. So let's look at this video right here, this DUI video. I did have a camera for this, but I didn't know how to put it in focus. My name is SumnSumnSumnHTK, in case this is your first time viewing. So look how blurry that looks, because the camera's not even in focus. So I had a camera and I couldn't get the camera in focus. Granted, it was a super old camera, but I couldn't get the camera in focus at all. So as we're looking to stuff the actual panel, it just looks like crap. It doesn't look very good, but the video's got over 96,000 views and it has over 2,000 likes. So granted, the like ratio is not the greatest, because in that video, I'm kind of cracking jokes and the taste may not be for everybody. But with that being said, I still got a bunch of views from that. So we can come back to the channel here and we can go back to some more popular videos. So yes, with some of these videos, I did have a newer camera, but let's click over here. And as we see here, like with this MPC Beats video, this video has 49,000 views, and I didn't use a camera with this. I basically used the camera on my computer. And look at this. I'm in the program. So we're just gonna come over here to empty project templates. You can go to any of the templates. So as you can see here, the video quality just is not the best. And I'm just not doing a lot of cuts and all this other stuff. So I'm basically using the camera in the computer. And still, there's a lot more content like that, because I didn't have a camera for like the first 11 months that I did YouTube. So I didn't finally get a camera until I monetized. And then I knew I was serious about this and I was gonna make this work. So then here's another video right here, how to make a beat from scratch in MPC Beats. Guys, so basically what I wanna do today is I wanna show you guys how to make a beat from start to finish. Look how blurry that looks. I'll even make this full screen for a second. I'm not going to show you how to mix the beat or put any plugins or effects on the beat. I'm just simply gonna show you guys how to make a beat, lay it out. So as you can see there, clear as day, it's not very clear. The camera work is not that great. So I didn't need this great camera. I didn't need keyboards in the back in order to impress people. I didn't need like a MPC in order to do MPC Beat Studio reviews. All I needed was my computer, a mouse, and a microphone. And if you look at the headphones in this video too, okay, granted, these are some Audio-Technica M30s, but those were only $49 when I got them, or $50 when I got them. And when I first started the channel, I didn't even have monitoring headphones. I just had some regular headphones that I was using that cost me $20. So, I mean, if you have a computer, you can start a channel. If you have a computer and a phone, you can start a channel, because nowadays you can just use your phone as the camera and you can use the mic on your phone, and that'll be good enough just to start the channel. The fifth biggest mistake that I made was not collaborating with other artists. So when I first started, I didn't collaborate with anybody. I think it took me a year and a half before I did my first collaboration. So what I will say is I would reach out to people who have like followings as you, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit smaller. Don't necessarily reach for the moon. I reached for the moon and I got lucky on my first video because when I eventually did do my first um, collaboration, I had 3,000 subscribers. And I reached out to Valentina from Bigger Productions. I reached out to Dixon Beats and I reached out to Bongonzo. Now, I had already been doing stuff with Bongonzo, so we were kind of cool. Like, we just talked a lot and we chopped it up a lot. But I only reached out to Valentina because she had followed me on Instagram, and I was going through my Instagram followers and see who's followed me. And I was like, well, if she follows me, she might rock with me. She had like 60,000 subscribers at the time. So I got lucky. And then Dixon, I think we had commented on each other's videos and stuff like that before. So I was like, man, let me go ahead and reach out to Dixon. And he had like 50,000 subscribers at the time. I had 3. So I got lucky that I had consistently put out content and I started to show, hey, I'm putting out content all the time. And these people wanted to work with me because obviously they rocked with the content. So as you see here, we did a video. Now the video didn't do the most amount of views. It did like, almost 2,000 views. But again, I only had 3,000 subscribers at the time. It was called 4 Producers, 1 MIDI Pack, where we all just basically flipped the same MIDI pack to show people that you can do some cool stuff with MIDIs. Now, what made this really dope for me, the best part about this was this actually built my confidence up as a YouTuber because now legitimate people who are doing YouTube, they rock with me and they're doing content with me. And this just made my confidence go through the roof. Not saying I got cocky or arrogant, but it made me feel like, hey, I belong in this space. Hey, I feel like I can do this. And then not only that, we got to share some subscribers. So Valentina got to share some subscribers with me. I got to share some back with her. The same with Dixon, the same with Bongonzo, so on and so forth. And we got to put a positive light on different people in this space by doing collaborations. So I wish I would do more collaborations. I've done a lot. I've done more than y'all probably realize. Like I did a collab with Av, and now me and Av cool on the other side of the pillow. I've done a bunch of collabs with Weaver. You already know that's my guy. I've done collaborations with a bunch of people, X.E.L.O. I've done collaborations behind the scene, done collaborations with Arsony Music. Got some more collaborations coming here pretty soon. Just got to get them all together. But I feel like if you do more collaborations, it opens you up to a new audience, it gives you more confidence, and it's going to help you grow just in the community of the niche that you're working with. Just like all those techie people do stuff together, like Marcus Brownlee does stuff with Linus Tech Tips or Sarah Dici or all them boys in the UK. So obviously you see Ocean working with Produced by Jack or Dixon or Gamey or all those dudes. They're all working together and they're doing content together to help each other out. If you start earlier, you just can build up your fan base and you can build up those connections faster and sooner. The 6th biggest mistake that I made would definitely be not learning good editing techniques and not learning a good editing style. This one still kind of hurts me because you guys watch the content. Y'all know I don't have the greatest editing style. I don't add a bunch of memes into my stuff. It's just pretty straightforward. But when I started, I still could have put a little bit more time and effort and figured out more stuff with the editing. So then as we look here at my first video, I got the Streamlabs in the background. I don't even have a straight on shot of me introducing myself to the world. It's the first video. I don't talk about what the video is about. I just got Streamlabs in the background and something, hit the keys right here. But then as you look through this whole video, I don't even change the video angle or the video view or any of that. I don't know why it's thinking so hard right now, but as we look, I don't change anything. So this is a really boring edit. I don't have no memes in here. I don't have nothing to change up the view of the video to make it a little more entertaining for you guys. I don't do a whole lot of cuts in here either. So there's not like, I don't cut out dead space, dead air, all that other stuff. I would recommend that. And then like the same with this video, I'm like, at this point, I'm months into doing videos. I'm like 7 months into videos and I'm still not working on a better editing technique. And so as we look here, the whole video, I basically have the same angle, The 7th biggest mistake that I made when I started this YouTube channel was not putting in time and effort to figure out how to make quality thumbnails. So as we look here at the thumbnails that I started off with when I first started making YouTube, I don't even have a thumbnail for my first 2 videos. So this was just music I put together, and then this was a video. So there's not even a thumbnail. Who would click on this? Again, I'm surprised that people clicked on this. I wouldn't click on this thumbnail. I wouldn't click on this thumbnail. I wouldn't click on this thumbnail. I might click on this thumbnail if I was interested in this product, but I'm not clicking on any of these thumbnails, and I'm just being realistic. I wouldn't click on any of these thumbnails. So a thumbnail is very important to your video because that's the person's first impression of your video. There is a lot of free software out there that you could use. You can use Canva. That's what I used a lot when I started off. You can also use like GIMP. GIMP is free software that you could use. If you're gonna take this seriously though, what I would recommend is I would recommend going right to Affinity because Affinity is like $39, but you can do some good stuff with Affinity. And the eighth biggest mistake I did when I started my YouTube channel was not setting goals and writing them down. So I know for a lot of you guys, you may be like, well, why do I gotta write it down? You know, I understand that I wanna make 2 videos a week. Well, when you write things down and you write down your goals, it makes it easier for you to track. It makes it easier for you to make an outline. It makes it easier for you to make a game plan on how you're gonna get to that goal. So like, let's say one of your goals is, all right, I wanna put out 100 videos this year. Well, what would be the goal? To put out 2 videos, a week. Now, obviously, I know that's 104, so that's going to get you an extra couple, but it's more than that. It's like writing down this goal. So every single Monday, I need to have a plan and a script or an idea for whatever video it is I'm going to record on Tuesday. I record and edit the video on Tuesday. I put together the video on Wednesday. And so it's little things like that that are going to help you, stay focused and continue to go. Or when you put together goals, like my first month, my goal is to get 25 subscribers or 50 subscribers. It needs to be a realistic goal because if you say something like, I'm gonna monetize and I'm gonna have 1,000 subscribers in 1 month, well, that's not a smart, goal. That's not obtainable. It's not smart. It's hard to measure that because most people aren't gonna get 1,000 subscribers in a month. So maybe you're like, by the first year, I wanna monetize. And so then that's when you start setting out your goals and you set out your plan. So maybe the first month I want to get 50. The second month I want to have 75. By the end of the third month I want to have 200. By the end of the fourth month I want to have 275. You just plan everything out in the steps that you're going to take to get there. So when you write down all these goals and you write out an action plan and all that other stuff, it helps you because you take a lot of these steps. So in the first month I'm also going to figure out how I'm going to get these thumbnails under control. And then by month 3, okay, now I want to start collaborating with people and I want to start getting all this stuff together. So when you're setting out goals and you're setting out steps of stuff that you want to do, it's going to help you out dramatically. You can put all kinds of goals in there. So you can make a goal of when I do finally monetize, I want to get myself a new camera, or I want to get myself a new mic, or I want to get myself some better software, or I want to upgrade my computer. But like once you start following these timelines and you start setting these goals, it's going to help you achieve those goals. It's going to help you achieve the results that you want. So again, I can't stress enough, once I started setting goals is once everything started taking off. I told you guys earlier, it was about July in the first year where I went from 79 subscribers to 229. Well, that's when I started setting goals. That's when I started telling myself, I'm gonna do this many reviews a month. I'm gonna do this many pieces of content a month. I'm gonna focus on this month. And then eventually I got there. And then once I monetized, I got to start making goals of, okay, I want to stream. So I want to stream X amount of times a month. I want to stream X amount of times a week. So how do I get to that amount of goal? Or how do I get to that goal? And eventually I got there. So I would definitely sit down and I would plan out everything that you want to do. So if you're doing music on top of trying to do just content or something like this, or even a different niche or whatever it is that you want to do, I would write down how many beats I want to make a month, how many songs I want to make a month, how many beats do I want to try to sell a month, how much of everything that you want to do, and I would work towards those goals. And if you have all that written down, it makes it easier to see. And now once you get it done, you can check it off and you'll feel good about checking it off instead of not really realizing you're achieving these goals. You're just kind of going with the flow, you're going with the motion, you're just kind of going. So those are 8 of the biggest regrets or mistakes that I made starting this channel. I just, again, thought I'd share them with you guys because you guys know I want to see all of you guys win. So if you guys can not make some of the mistakes that I made starting the channel and you can take off running, I definitely want to see that. So make sure if you guys do like this content though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell so every time we bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. Appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some hit the key.